So you're listening because you want more than just the surface story,
Yeah.
right? You want to really understand what makes someone like Beyonce tick.
Exactly.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into her whole journey. We're looking at a really detailed account, not just, the quick summary.
Right. We want to get beyond the headlines and figure out the key things that shaped her from the very beginning in Houston all the way to, well, the global icon she is now.
Yeah, and we're not just listing facts. We're looking for those moments, those maybe surprising details that really show how she became, queen down.
Those aha moments, like you said.
Okay, so let's get into it. It's quite a story. Where does this account say it all starts?
Well, it starts where you'd expect. Houston, Texas, September 4th, 1981. Beyonce, Giselle Knowles.
Right.
And the family dynamic seems really important right from the get-go. Her mom, Tina, owned a salon. Her dad, Matthew, was in sales initially.
Before he became her manager, yeah.
Exactly. And her younger sister, Solange, also a singer, of course. It sounds like a very close family unit.
That foundation seems key. And the story about her voice being discovered, it was quite early, wasn't it?
Yeah, around 7 years old. Her school music teacher apparently heard her sing and was just, blown away by the strength and quality of her voice.
Even though she was apparently quite shy. That contrast is interesting.
It really is. Shy in person, but this powerful voice. And what's striking is how quickly things ramped up after that.
Ramped up how?
Like intense dedication, straight into singing and dancing competitions, practicing every day. It wasn't just a hobby.
And her parents were driving this, or supporting it.
Fully supporting it, it seems. Taking her everywhere, lessons, shows, rehearsals, they were completely bought in.
Wow. That level of commitment early on is something.
Definitely. And that led to Girls' Time, the group she formed when she was only, 9?
Yeah, which eventually turned into Destiny's Child in '93. But it wasn't smooth sailing, was it?
Oh, not at all. The account mentions quite a few rejections early on. Music companies weren't biting initially.
It's easy to forget that part when you think about how huge they became.
Totally. But they just kept going, practicing, performing, getting better, real perseverance.
And her dad quitting his job, that's a massive risk.
Huge. Matthew Knowles going all in to manage them full time. That really shows the family's belief,
Yeah, absolutely. And it paid off. Columbia Records in '97.
And then the first album in '98? No.
Which was a big hit. And she was only 16.
16. But apparently already had this really strong voice and stage presence. It was noticeable even then.
You could already see signs of her leadership, maybe.
I think so. The account points to her being the lead singer, yeah, but also involved in songwriting, the dance routines.
Driven, even back then.
Very.
Right.
Always pushing for things to be perfect, always improving. And it mentions that contrast, again, calm in interviews, but totally commanding on stage.
Interesting. Developing that persona early.
Seems like it. And then the late 90s, Destiny's Child just exploded, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Say my name. Bills, bills, bills. Jumpin', jumpin'. They were everywhere. Top girl group, easily.
Absolutely dominant. But you sort of sense, reading between the lines, that even with all that success, maybe she was already thinking bigger.
You mean beyond the group?
Yeah, like maybe the group format, as successful as it was, wouldn't be enough for her artistic ambitions long term.
Which brings us to that big transition, right? Going solo. That must have been a huge decision in the early 2000s.
Massive. Destiny's Child was selling millions. They were global superstars. To step away from that, it speaks volumes about her drive.
Seeking new challenges, wanting to grow as an artist on her own terms.
Exactly. But the pressure, Wow. Could she actually match that success on her own? That was the big question.
And then came Dangerously in Love in 2003. High stakes.
Extremely high stakes, and she just delivered. Big time.
Crazy in Love, Baby Boy. Huge hits right out of the gate.
And the sound felt fresh, didn't it? That mix of R&B, hip-hop, pop. It was exciting. Her voice sounding incredible, so strong, so emotional.
And the videos. They were instantly iconic.
Totally. Crazy in Love, especially. That video, her whole vibe.
Yeah.
It was so confident, so powerful.
It just dominated everything. Number one everywhere. Grammys.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, she's arrived as a solo force.
Definitely a massive statement. But the account makes it clear this wasn't just raw talent making it happen.
It was the work ethic again.
Relentless work ethic, long hours in the studio, involved in the writing, the production, rigorous training for performances. She was focused on the artistry, not just, being famous.
And she seemed quite private during that time too, right? Didn't get caught up in the whole celebrity party scene.
Yeah, the account mentioned she stayed really focused, kept her family close. Her relationship with Jay-Z was kept very private back then too. It all points to this intense focus on the music.
Controlling her narrative, even then.
Seems that way. And then Destiny's Child officially ended in 2006. Final album, final tour, end of an era.
Which cleared the way for her next move. And she didn't wait long, did she?
Nope. Bidet came out that same year, 2006.
And that album felt different. Faster. Maybe fiercer.
Yeah, definitely. Songs like Deja Vu, Ring the Alarm, and obviously Irreplaceable, which was massive.
Huge. Another cultural moment, really.
It felt like she was showing another side, more assertive side of her artistry.
And B-Day kept the momentum going.
Oh, yeah. Global tour. Her work now. It felt like she wasn't just following trends, she was setting them.
And she dipped her toe into acting around then, too, with Dreamgirls.
Right. And got really good reviews for it. Showed her versatility, that she wasn't just a singer.
It always comes back to that work ethic, doesn't it? Always pushing.
Seems to be the common thread. Talent plus just relentless drive.
Okay, so then we get to 2008, and I Am Sasha Fierce. That was a really interesting concept.
Yeah, the two sides. The sort of softer emotional side with songs like Halo and If I Were a Boy.
Beautiful songs.
And then the bold, powerful side. Sasha Fierce with Single Ladies.
Single ladies, I mean, what can you even say?
Yeah. It just exploded. More than a song, it was a phenomenon. The dance, the video, everyone knew it.
That black and white video, so simple, but so effective. And the message of independence.
It resonated everywhere. Instantly iconic. Became this global anthem of self-worth.
Absolutely. So she's established herself as this huge solo star, but then the story seems to shift again, doesn't it? She becomes something more.
Right. This is where we see the evolution into not just an entertainer, but a real cultural force, an icon, and increasingly an activist around the early 2010s.
Using that fame for something more.
Exactly. Leveraging her platform to speak out, to make a difference.
And the way she announced that shift, or maybe cemented it, the surprise Beyonce album in 2013, that was revolutionary.
Completely changed the game. No announcement, just dropped online. And a video for every single song, a visual album.
Nobody saw it coming. And the music itself felt different, too. Bolder, more personal.
Definitely. Tackling themes like love, marriage, body image, motherhood, power. Really, honestly.
Pretty hurts about beauty standards.
And flawless, with Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's speech about feminism. That was huge. Sparked so many conversations.
It felt like she was letting people in more, right? Talking
Yeah.
about her relationship, the miscarriage. It felt very vulnerable.
Yeah, it showed a deeper, maybe more relatable side. Despite her being this massive star, people really responded to that honesty.
The praise for that album was huge, wasn't it? For the bravery, the artistry.
Massive critical acclaim. It felt like a real turning point, moving towards more direct storytelling and activism in her work.
And then Lemonade in 2016. If the self-titled album was a turning point, Lemonade felt like a whole new level.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't just an album, it was a film, a cultural statement, so layered.
Exploring heartbreak, anger, healing, hope, but also Black identity, Black women's strength.
And African American culture, history, it was incredibly rich. Musically, too, so diverse. Rock, country, soul, hip hop.
With amazing collaborations.
Yeah.
Jack White, The Weeknd, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, but the visuals were just stunning. The storytelling, the African-inspired fashion, the representation of Black women and all their diversity, honoring their pain and their strength. It was powerful stuff.
And then there was Formation, that song, and especially the Super Bowl performance.
Wow. Yeah, that was a moment. A celebration of Black culture, her Southern roots, Black pride.
But also directly addressing police violence, racism, identity. It wasn't subtle.
Not at all. And the performance with the dancers in Black Panther-inspired outfits, it was a major political statement on the biggest stage.
Caused a lot of controversy, but also inspired so many people.
Absolutely. It showed she wasn't afraid to use her platform for things that mattered to her. And her activism went beyond the music too, right?
Yeah. Supporting Black Lives Matter, donations, women's rights advocacy, helping students.
And becoming more of a businesswoman too. Founding Parkwood Entertainment.
Taking control of her career, her image, everything. Launching Ivy Park as well.
That move to gain more control, more agency, seems really significant in her evolution.
And then headlining Coachella in 2018, Homecoming.
Historic. First Black woman to headline. And she didn't just perform, she created this incredible spectacle celebrating HBCUs.
The marching band, the dancers, the scale of it was insane.
It was a true celebration of Black excellence, education, history, pride. Just phenomenal. The documentary and live album captured it so well.
By this point, she's undeniably a cultural icon, isn't she? Representing strength, independence.
Beauty, pride, inspiring people, especially women and girls all over the world, and always seeming so in control of her own story.
It's an incredible arc. So we've seen the journey from shy girl to global superstar to activist and icon. What about the more recent chapters? Her family, her continuing evolution?
Well, her marriage to Jay-Z in 2008, it's always been relatively private, considering their fame. They seem protective of that personal space.
Which seems consistent with how she's always operated.
Right. And becoming a mother obviously had a huge impact. Blue Ivy in 2012, then the twins, Rumi and Sir, in 2017.
And she's incorporated motherhood into her art, too, hasn't she?
Yeah, you see that softer side in songs like Blue. And she's been open about some of the challenges, like the complications with her pregnancy with the twins. It adds another layer of relatability.
And Blue Ivy's involved, too. Appearing in songs, videos.
And winning a BET award for Brown Skin Girl, which is such a powerful song celebrating darker skin tones, a really important message.
Definitely. And then Black is King in 2020.
Another huge visual project inspired by The Lion King, but really a celebration of African culture, history, beauty across the whole continent. Music, dance, fashion, art.
She called it a love letter to Africa. It felt like that.
It really did. Just visually stunning and so rich culturally.
So her role now feels like a cultural leader, influencing everything.
Pretty much. Fashion, film, education, even politics, business. She inspires younger artists, empowers women, amplifies activist voices. Her reach is immense.
What do you think are the key ingredients to that sustained success. We've mentioned the work ethic, the vision.
Definitely those. But also, I think her power to empower others. Hiring diverse talent, supporting other women, giving back, speaking out for justice. It's all part of it.
It's not just about her own success.
No, it feels broader than that. And then you have Renaissance in 2022.
Which felt like a shift again. Pure dance music, joy, freedom.
Exactly. Inspired by Black queer culture, underground dance scenes. A real celebration of life, especially after, the pandemic years.
And the tour, the Renaissance World Tour, was just epic.
Huge scale, incredible creativity. It really felt like she was creating this space of joy and freedom for her fans. You could feel it.
So what's next? It feels like she always keeps you guessing.
That's her trademark, isn't it? Constant evolution, constant surprise. But you can bet she'll continue to lead, inspire, create across different fields.
So her legacy,
Yeah.
it's more than just the music, the awards, the sales figures.
Oh, much more. It's about empowerment. Using art to speak truth, to promote self-love, turning pain into strength, struggle into beauty.
That combination of talent, hard work, vision, and heart.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes her more than just an artist. She's really, like you said earlier, a movement.
It's quite a journey when you lay it all out.
Yeah.
From that young girl in Houston to this global force, continuous transformation.
An incredible story of dedication, artistic risk-taking, and using her platform in really impactful ways.
And hopefully this deep dive, looking at this detailed account, gives you a much fuller picture of how complex and influential she really is.
Yeah, it goes way beyond just the hit songs. It's the whole evolution.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. How does someone reinvent themselves so consistently, yet stay true to who they are?
Mm-hmm.
What parts of Beyonce's journey really stand out to you? And maybe how could you apply some of that drive, that vision, that courage in your own life, your own work? Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.